Hello, hello. It's me, Annalisa. Happy New Year, everybody. It's January 5th, and let's see. There's a lot going on. I know I want to just bring up a couple little things. Also, new subscribers, welcome, welcome. I had one subscriber tell me today she was unsubscribing because I said Trump energy isn't welcome here. But everybody knows I'm not really a fan of Trump. And while I like people, I don't like his energy. And you're welcome to vote however you choose. And I won't call him names, but I will not welcome a whole lot of that energy here. That's just me. It's my space. Rochelle, thank you. Like and subscribe. So I said you're welcome to unsubscribe if you want. Blessings to you anyway. The Iran thing, I know everybody's freaked out. I had somebody reach out to me with some astro person's interpretation of what's going on, the planet's alignments, and I think they said Uranus or something like that. I can't remember. Sorry, I just realized my phone is on the floor. Some planet is in, and it's about Saturn and Mars. I don't know, but I don't feel it's World War III. I feel like it's political posturing, and I do feel like it'll get reined in. There are enough people looking out for us. So, and it's not that I'm being flippant about it because I have a family member that is stationed over in the Middle East right now. And so it's very concerning to me, but I still think it's garbage political posturing. Sorry, that's what I think is going on. So, okay, Emily, I see your question now. Please give me a name with your question. I hate signs. You are basically completely as anonymous as you can be on this thing. I barely ever see pictures. These are so tiny in here. I can't squint enough to see them. I don't hear your voice. I don't have anything, so I need a name. I always get to everybody's questions. I see you're all, it's okay. No apologies. Just, I can't stand. And I have a new computer, so bear with me. It might just take me a minute. In fact, that's why I don't know if any of you guys saw, like I had all these different things, but apparently, and I don't know, whatever. I had to figure out all the settings. So just bear with me tonight. I'm getting used to the mouse and everything. It's all a little different. Oh, the spiel, all readings are for the purposes of entertainment only. I am not a financial advisor, a doctor, a lawyer, or a therapist. If you need one of those, please seek one of those. Kindness, as always, is appreciated. And that's that. All right, so Danielle, wait, hang on. Oh, shining light. This thing takes a minute to figure out. I've noticed from other live videos. Wait, what thing? Wait, okay. 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 Danielle W says, I was wondering if I would be moving to a better apartment soon. You guys, I have been working on like refining a whole lot of manifestation stuff lately. And so I'm getting all my stuff together, my ducks in a row to write something about that because you will. Better is relative. I don't feel like it's going to be like fancy schmancy doorman kind of building. But it does feel better than where you're at. It feels warmer. I don't know why. I just feel cold. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but you will. It still feels about 2 to 3 months out yet. It doesn't feel like actually, it may not even be till May. So I don't know if you start to look in 2 to 3 months and then your lease is signed for May or whatever it is, but it feels about that far out. I don't know if that makes any sense. And I'll try and be patient for your responses. Sorry. I don't know why that bothered me. Okay, there. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Oh, come on, Mousy. There we go. Oh, weird. There's no times on this one. Dang it. Well, that's annoying. I need the times to help me not get lost. All right. I'm good, by the way. Laura asked, how are you? I'm good. I'm excited because we're going to start putting together when I'm going to be teaching that energy healing class in the city. I'm going to start teaching for them. Hello. Sorry. Oh, it's not rude. When you say of the story of the person, she wasn't rude. I feel like she was actually more like you're not being fair, and that's what she said. And it is what it is. If you dig enough, you'll be able to find what I'm talking about. But listen, people have their own thing. I don't care. I'm not gonna let it bother me. But not a Trump lover, and I'm not shy about saying that. I'm not gonna talk bad about him, but I just don't really like his energy. Shining Light says you need help with an invasive health issue that you can't seem to get rid of yourself. Shining Out Light, the first thing I noticed that I feel with you is headaches. And it feels shortness of breath, but I feel like that's more related to anxiety than like asthma. And also like a bloated stomach feeling, like burpy. Does that make sense? And then we'll kind of like pick around and see what we can come up with. So to me, what they're kind of talking to me about while I'm waiting for you to answer is it just feels more autoimmune and like almost like it's happening because of like diet and leaky gut type stuff, that it's like kind of throwing everything off balance. And the feeling I get is like finding a holistic practitioner that would look into that. Not those symptoms. Do you have anxiety and headaches? Morgellons. So now I go to my friend Google because I have never heard of that. Anxiety, yes. Okay, so I am connecting into you. So that may not be what you're looking at, but that's what I'm connecting into to you. Hang on. Let me just see what this is that you type because I have no clue. Oh, okay. So, but I actually, because looking at this, it says it's a skin lesions. I actually feel like it's there's an autoimmune issue going on with you, and that if you found somebody who is a holistic practitioner who does, what do they call them? Maybe who has like a MD / whatever, or somebody who looks at the diet, will look at your diet and cleaning up your diet. I feel like that would actually really, really help you. And I actually feel like it would help your anxiety as well. So that's my recommendation, is trying to find somebody who does. And sometimes those people don't take insurance. So that's what I'll tell you about that. I hope it's helpful. You eat so. It's not about, so like I have food sensitivities and one of mine is cauliflower. It's a totally healthy food, and it doesn't really like you don't look at like going, okay, well, all cruciferous vegetables, because I'm totally fine with broccoli, which is another cruciferous vegetable. So for me, it doesn't follow a pattern. It's just I have like random food sensitivities that don't really make sense. Celery, things that like you don't really think of. So even if you eat pretty healthy, I have tons of healthy things that my body just doesn't like. So it's like egg yolk, like, so it doesn't always have to make sense. So that's why I say it should just again, eating things that are considered very healthy, but my body just doesn't tolerate and doesn't like. So that's what they're telling me, is that you would benefit, that it's something like a leaky gut type thing that's sort of creating all of this, wreaking this havoc in your body. So that's what I'll tell you. I got to move on though. Thank you, Blue Storm. It's funny, it blocks your comments when it tells you to subscribe and like. Okay. And you guys, I'm doing my best here. It's different. Like the last time I did this, it had times on here, and now it doesn't. Okay, so bear with me. Oh, Breezy, your grandma Shelly. Oh, is she ready? That's right. Because last time, you know what? So I think part of that message is when she was like getting ready. It's just to say that she's here and she's around you. So sometimes they don't have like a whole thing. Some people get disappointed because certain people don't come through, and it's not because they aren't around you and they don't love you. It's sort of because either somebody else needs to push through first, or other messages need to be heard, or you're okay with their passing. So there's not this like need to kind of be there. So I feel like that was just sort of her showing you that she's around you, but not necessarily that there's like, it's their form of love, right? Of saying, I love you and I'm with you. So I don't have anybody who's stepping in just yet, but that doesn't mean somebody can't come in for the night. So hi, Sherry. No questions to ask. Okay, we'll send you love anyway. Elizabeth, if Chris M and I get back together, will it work out this time? No, but you won't be getting back together. He feels vibrationally like lower and heavier than you. Do you have something with your right knee? I don't know why. Just rubbing my knee here. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like you're going to get back together. But even if you did, it wouldn't work out, just because you're not really a good vibrational match. And it's sort of like whatever lesson you needed to learn and grow from to step forward, you got there, and that the next person that comes in, and it feels like actually in about 3 months' time, that person's going to push you to learn more. That person is not the one, but that person is going to, it's a necessary relationship. That's the feeling I get. That's, oh wait, so wait, hand. I'm just typing names so we know that I've kind of, so I kind of keep my brain intact here. Elizabeth Lynn. Even like the keyboard feels different. Okay, so it's just going to take me. It's not as intuitive as it was before. Huh. Missiana, how? Missiana, names, please. So I'm going to assume that you're going to retype that, and I'll get to your question whenever you retype it. And don't worry about it. Don't feel like, oh, she's going to skip me. I'm not going to skip you. I swear to God. I hang out with you guys till I just beat this to death until we get to the end of your questions. Smiles a lot. Will I be getting an apartment at Huntington Place or Fox Hollow? I feel I'm leaning towards the Fox Hollow is like, feels where it's at. I can be wrong, and I'm okay with that, as long as I'm not wrong more than I'm right. Okay, Danny. Oh, guys, I'm gonna do a spiritual talk again, like where we kind of have a spiritual chat on Friday for lunch-ish time. So 12:30, 1 o'clock my time. Danny asked on another video if I would talk about self-forgiving and all of that. So I'm going to do that on Friday for a live stream chat. I'd like to know if things will work out in your favor in regards to mobile phones. The company is trying to force me into buying them When I made it clear I don't want them. Long story. I feel like, so I actually feel like you're gonna end up going with a different carrier because I feel like they're not gonna budge. Um, even if you like, it feels like talking to 3 or 4 different people and like no one's gonna budge, but that you go with another carrier. Might I suggest? Just kidding. I can't suggest anybody, but there's carriers are out there that do let you bring in their own phones and they're pretty reasonably priced. I don't know if that helps. Okay, Laura H. Is there a stable long-term relationship coming in? I don't know if it's this long-term one, but all I'm getting is something in 6 months time. Mallory, Happy New Year. What are going to be your validation signs you're looking for this week, Miss Mallory? You know, it's funny. I don't know. I was thinking about you earlier today, Mallory, and your grandmother. So I hope, I don't know if she's passed. So I wish I could say like, oh, but I hope everything is okay there. Everything went smooth. Sorry, I was looking for my rock. This is weird because I keep seeing pink, a little pink piece of yarn. And I don't know what that means. So maybe you're looking for a little piece of pink yarn this week. I have no idea why, but it's like I'm looking at it really closely. Is like the way the view they're giving me is like this really close up view of a little piece of pink yarn. The very end of it. Does that make any sense? Probably not. She passed away peacefully, Greta. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rosewater. It does look like that. No, there's 3 little dots, but I don't see put user in timeout. No, I don't have timestamps on mine. Oop. Hang on. Top right. Wait, hang on. Oh, super duper. Rockstar. Thank you, Rosewater. Thank you. So I never knew how to do that because I never had to do that before. Now I have times. Now I'm not so lost. Woohoo. Okay. Okay. I was just looking at the time, how long we've been in here. Sorry, I feel like I'm just slowly going through this stuff. Question, what do you see happening in your job search in the next 2 months, Alan? I should have got more batteries for that. So I actually feel like almost like it just feels like dead. And then at the very end of February to beginning of March, which would lead you into the very end, is where it starts to like, okay, finally. And like almost getting worried that it's not going to happen. But at the very end, you start hearing back about resumes and appointments and things like that. So that's what I will say there. Okay, so that's LNR. I just want to see if doesn't make sense, but I'll look. Okay, look out for pink yarn, Mallory. I don't know what that means. it's funny because I actually feel like I hear him laughing about it and like almost like have fun on your scavenger hunt. Like he enjoys the joke of it. Miss Yana, you posted the name I asked. Can you just post it as a whole new question so I don't have to try and dig for your question and that name and all of that? That would be lovely. Okay. Okay, never mind. You're good. Okay, I'll get to your question now. It's just you're just gonna have to wait now that it's in the lineup. I'm actually gonna put no new questions from this point on because I feel like there's a ton here, and but I will answer everybody's best questions so far. Because I'm still only on 8:34 for time frame. Okay, Imam, will you and O be in a relationship in 2020? Yes, but I feel like towards the end. Like it may not even be till November. So it sort of feels like it's almost like don't wait around like because it'll circle back around to it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but there you go. You're welcome, Danny. Oh, you were answering. Oh, okay. Just ask your question once. I really will get to you, I promise, especially if you're new here. I always get to you guys. I stay through it for the long haul. How's the sound on this one, by the way? Is it better than the other one? Laura AJ. Okay, so hi, Khalees. Welcome. I might be reaching out to you, Khalees, by the way. Will my next relationship last long term? Bonita, will your next relationship? So I feel like not this one, not the next one, but the third one. So it feels like three times a charm. Don't be disappointed. You won't want the ones in between. Not long term. That girl Bricks, will you make money on Mercari soon? Yes, but I don't feel like a lot. But it feels like enough. Whatever that means. It's not a lot, but it's enough. Nicole, is Jose still on the path of being the one? Oh. Okay. This is what I'm going to tell you because this is what's showing up for me is that that fear of abandonment thing you have and like the sort of like it's almost like you're so needing it to be there that you're ending up pushing him away and like so it's like just chill about it because they're like they're like we are not even going to talk about Jose today. Jose, no, did I say that name right? I think I did this to you last on the reading. Because it really feels like you have to work on you and just really it's like sort of focus on healing you and your own stuff, because then it's going to create too much tension between you two, even if when you end up together. It just feels like just stop putting so much pressure on it is what I feel like. And also they're telling me that even though it feels bad, it's not as maybe bad as you think. Rochelle, what does 2020 have for you in store for your career and finances? I feel like you're going to keep growing, that it's going to feel kind of a lot in the beginning of the year, but I feel by October, November is when, and I know it's all the way towards the end, but you've got years of success ahead of you. So it feels like October and November are going to be significant for growth. And I know you were buying a house before, but I feel like why do I feel like it's like the feeling of buying several properties or being a real estate investor or developer or something like that. Like that's what I keep seeing. I just keep seeing also lots of paperwork around you. Um, I know you do metaphysical work too, but I just feel like I actually see you having your own little studio or something. So I don't know if it's like a yoga studio or meditation studio or something kind of like mixed metaphysical use place, but I see that happening too. But it feels like leading into that more towards the end of the year. Does that make sense at all? Spiritual goddess of enlightenment. I always go down the list. You can go ahead and add your question because I know you're new. That's fine. I usually put a message up here like no new questions if I see there's a ton of questions. So I'm not here for an hour and a half because that gets to be a lot. And Ramila, you're last. Okay, so hurry up and ask your question. You're last. It's like my mouse is backwards. Like I sit there and spin it and spin it. Okay, so Rochelle, does that make sense to you on anything? Okay. For real, get your questions in because I want to close this thing out. Rochelle, look, I'll find you again in a minute. My God. Sorry. Okay. Dwayne wants to know about his financial security for 2020. They're showing me like a hiccup or a bump, and I'm feeling in February. So like there's some kind of like hiccup or bump, but then like smooth coasting. I don't feel like do you already have a concern about November though? Why does November keep coming up for me and for you guys? So, but hiccup or bump in like February, but then like, okay, I don't feel anything like, I don't feel terrible. Like, I don't feel like I'm scraping or trying to do those things. I feel like, okay, but just they show me this hiccup or bump in February. It doesn't feel like I can't recover from it. It's just like there's this weird, like literally they're showing me a little bump February and that's it. But something in November. So I don't know if there's going to be a change in jobs or something like that, but something about November and a change. So it's like they're saying a change in the flow. So I don't know if it's actually an increase in the flow, but but I don't ever feel like I'm, other than this little bump, hiccupy thing, whatever. I don't feel like if I'm looking at a timeline, I don't feel like I'm struggling. Did I type your name, Dwayne? Let's see if I did that. I did not. And now I'm saying no new questions if you haven't gotten yours in yet. You're welcome, Dwayne. Are you looking for a new job? I think you might be getting a new one, but down the end of the year. Yes. Okay. Sherry, should I keep my real estate license? Yes, very clearly, yes. Because even though I don't feel like you're going to necessarily need it right now, it feels like there's going to be something where it really comes in handy financially for you or somebody else that you know that you're close with. So yes, keep it. Rosewater, do you see what happened to me? What will happen to you over the next 10 days? Is it wrong that I'm saying no, everything's clear? Because it's literally like they're just showing me clear. All's clear. So I don't know if you're worried something's going to happen, but it just feels like everything's clear. You're good. I do feel like an incoming of clients or whatever it is you do. Feels like a little bit of an incoming. Okay. I love how you guys, sorry, like, because I don't always see everything you write, you know this, like, right away. And so I start like seeing what you're writing as I get further down. It's like you keeping people in line. It's really funny. Okay. Beer a booty. What are blandly feeling? Is blandly the name? Blandy? Were you supposed to be Brandy? Andy? I'll stretch. Let's see. What are the feelings towards you? It just feels flat. So it feels like they're going. So I don't feel like, it doesn't feel like there's like a negative feeling towards you, but it actually, the way they're making me feel like is like, it's not really going to happen, but you're better off if it doesn't happen. Like this is not a good match for you. All right, y'all, in 2020, you are going to set an intention to, it's not about higher standards, but kinder and more loving to yourselves. And part of that is not accepting people showing up in a half-ass way. That's what I think. And you don't have to be mean to do that. You just be like, meh, no time for that. Emily Aqueen, what does Jeffrey think about you? Jeffrey thinks about himself a lot. Jeffrey puts himself first a lot. So that's sort of the feeling I get. Like, oh, again, I won't tell you what to do, but the challenge in that relationship, if you pursue that, is being with somebody who thinks about themselves a lot first. A lot. Hi, Ken. Ken, in March, it feels like something's going to come up. I don't know if you do contract work because it kind of feels like a new contract. It doesn't feel like, but it feels like March. And it also feels like several. The chat got swarmed. What does 2020 have in store for you? Music for the vibe. It's funny. I can almost feel like so many of you are like, when are you going to get to me? When are you going to get to me? I'll get to you. I promise. Music for the vibe in 2020. April is going to be a significant month for you. So they're not showing me like big love, but I feel like it's really this year is going to be a lot of growth for you career wise. And it's like, it's nice, steady growth because I can hear like the music, like, because your music for the vibes are telling to me in like almost music beats, like bumping along, like, and doing really, really well. But it feels like that's where your most growth is going to happen this year. There's also going to be some personal and spiritual growth for you in the first quarter. And then in the last 2 months, like, so there's going to be like these little pockets of growth for you spiritually, personally, emotionally speaking. Blue Storm, any advice about making progress with David and Ev, work related at S company? I haven't heard back for a while. Oh, okay. Well, I do. Did I say that I thought it would be like a few weeks? I don't know why I feel like David got sick. I feel like somebody has a cold. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I do feel like you'll hear back from them. It's not, and it would not hurt to send a friendly reminder, checking in. Angel Destiny Lauren will, why are you asking Lauren? Listen, y'all, if you want to do private readings, do them somewhere else. Don't do them on here. I don't need all that cross stuff. Okay. Shining light, you need help. Okay, cool. We already answered yours. Okay. Khalees, does it feel like there's long-term potential with the person you're dating right now? It does, actually. Something significant happens in 2 months where it's like settling in that period. It's like you'll be settled in and sort of like, okay. But it does feel like it's long-term, but I also feel like traveling with it. So I don't know if he's based in your town or not, but it just feels like, I don't know why there's traveling with it unless he travels with you or whatever, but a little bit of traveling, but then like, so maybe, I don't know, whatever the 2 months significance in settling down is. So maybe there's a lot of travel planned for you because I know you travel with your job. If that happens and then it settles down in 2 months or what, but it does feel like it could be significant. I do feel like on your end, reservations, and feeling hesitant, like protective type feeling. And that guard will come down slowly. So I don't want to go, oh, feel totally okay with it. No problem. It feels like it's one of those things that'll come down naturally, slowly on its own. I don't know if that makes any sense. You both travel a lot. Okay. So I feel like whatever happens in 2 months, it'll sort of settle down and calm down and like kind of happen. Ken, did I answer your new job opportunities? I thought I did. Let me see. This is why I type your names because, yeah, I did. Okay. Shoop. I don't know if stuff is just jumping around. You know, sometimes it does that. Or maybe I just like to pretend it does. I don't know. Queen of Swords, you and George. All right. I don't know if this makes any sense, but it feels like a very codependent relationship. If you have a tendency to lean towards being codependent, I don't know if you know like how that looks, but or what that really is. But that's sort of the feeling I get, that that's going to be your struggle in the relationship, is that whatever relationship you would be in would feel codependent, but it feels like sort of, yeah, answer right in a row. So Queen of Swords, I don't know if you're still here. I'm hoping you are. But it just feels like that's going to be the struggle with you and George. Oh, so Ellen, the energy healing class is going to be through Holistic Studies Institute. It's in Manhattan. It's actually a physical. You show up to the class, and I don't have a date yet. They have a website. It's Holistic Studies Institute, New York City. If you find, they also have classes in Albany. And it's not. It has nothing to do with Reiki at all. It's all intuitive healing. So you don't even have to have Reiki to come. And it's really cool. And I've always sort of intuitively did energy healing. And then I found this, I've done other classes at this place. And I found the course and I went to it and it was like, it's like totally right up my alley. It's, I really enjoy it anyway. But so, I'm going to be teaching it now. Everything works out for a reason, but I'm super, super grateful for my mentor and the founder of Holistic Studies Institute, who asked me to be the teacher now. So I don't have a date yet for it. We still have to sit down and talk about that, but it's probably in March or April will be when it is. And it's a weekend course. So it's like, I think it was 10 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday. Coda, your son is addicted to opioids. He fights hard every day to beat it. First of all, I'm sorry, because addiction is awful. And like the whole opioid thing just kills me, because as a nurse, when I first started out, I remember I worked on a postpartum floor and postpartum, antepartum, GYN surgical. And like to give somebody a Percocet or a Percodan, it was like a big deal. And we never sent anybody home with it. And now it feels like, then I came up here in the Northeast and I had my babies and it was like, they wanted to give it like candy. Like I asked for ibuprofen and Tylenol together and they looked at me like I was asking for heroin. So to me, it's like they wanted to right away give me a Percocet. And I was like, no, I'm good with just what I'm asking for. But it's insane to me how quickly it like looked like it was given out like candy. So I'm very sorry. Is he 37 or is there something significant about the number 37? Because that keeps coming to me. It does feel like it is going to be a struggle for him always. And I'm sorry to say that. It's not what you want to hear. Kiki, I'm not answering any new questions, okay? So if you guys have asked him after, I don't even know what the timestamp is up here. Good Lord, it's way up here. 8:53. I am no longer after 8:53 p.m. and the timestamp. I'm not answering any new questions after that, because I still have a lot to catch up on. So Coda, I don't know if you're still here or you're with me, but I feel like it's going to be a struggle for him. That is going to be his struggle. That even if he is clean and sober from them, it feels like still just that it truly is an everyday fight for him. Did you say he suffers from chronic pain? Because it feels like almost like some of that comes from like the withdrawal and like it's just this cycle for him. I don't know if he also suffers from depression, and then I also feel like just the gut issues, but I think that that's related to the narcotics. And it's just a fight for him. I don't feel like it's something that he's really going to ever fully win out. And I'm sorry about that. This is coming from someone who has a family full of addicts and friends that have been addicts, and it sucks. Crap, I lost the time where I was at, sorry. Here I am. Okay, for 8:40. Diana Veras, welcome. I hope you asked a question. Isha, why will Akshay not contact? Does he have feelings still? No, I don't think he's having any feelings anymore. And he feels like he's not very respectful either, like at all of your feelings. Oops, I typed his name. Sorry, Isha. Oops. Shelia, any message from your cousin Tiffany? I don't know if she was like this. I literally have someone who is like, I'm here for the party. And she's got like a drink with either an umbrella or like a flower or something, but it feels like a very tropical drink. And she's like ready for drinking a party. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I hope it does. But she feels like very funny, and I don't know why she's showing me her trunk, but her trunk, but like she keeps showing me her trunk. I don't know why. But like dressed, but she's showing me her dress, but she's like paying attention to her butt. I don't know what that means, but she's funny and her hair is done and she looks beautiful and she loved drinking. Okay, good. She's here. No, Isha, I don't feel like he's respectful of your feelings. So she's here. She's good. She made it. She's having a party. Okay. She showed me her butt. Like, it was kind of big, but I didn't want to be rude. She's here. She's funny. She's like, I'm going to sit and watch this. Like, she's like getting ready. Like, you're welcome, Isha. She's funny, Shelia. Just know she's with you. She loves you. She's good. She said, I'll be back. I'll let you know. Did somebody in your family have dreams that come true? Because she's like, somebody will be dreaming of fishes soon. So when people dream of fish, that means a baby's coming. So I do believe a baby is coming to your family. She said, I'm up here gossiping with the old ladies now. So I think your mother will be dreaming of fish soon. Oh, she said it's not who you think it'd be. All right. 8:40. And Diana, what's coming your way this year? I actually just heard happiness, lots of happiness. So I don't know if last year was a real struggle for you and sort of just like very, very hard, but it just feels like happiness and relief and relaxation. And they also, there's a grandmother or somebody, some figure, this older woman here. It just feels like, but you have to pray. So I don't know if this is somebody in your family who's very religious. So my interpretation of that is not get down and pray and go to church and all of that. It just feels like changing your perspective on life a little bit. And the struggle that you went through last year, just look at it and try and find the lesson in it. Try and find the learning lesson in it instead of being focused on, oh, it could have been this way, or if I would have just done this differently, or if I would have, they're like, just find the lesson in it and grow from it. I'm going to really shift your perspective, but I do feel like happiness and peace are coming this year for you. That's for Diana V. Veras. Pamela, hello. Hello, Australia. I donated for the animals and I've been saying prayers and healing for you guys. So may the soaky rain hit y'all and the winds slow down and cooling happen. Mary L., when will you hear from Tadeo? I don't feel like you're going to hear from Tadeo. It literally feels like crickets to me, like nothing. And then I keep hearing all my guys like, it's that feeling of there's a whole lot of people here tonight that are just settling for somebody who's not showing up because they don't recognize their worth and the light that sits within them. Okay, Diana, I answered yours. Okay, I got yours. Amy, I've been struggling badly with symptoms of PTSD. Have you any advice for you? First of all, I'm sorry because that sucks. I will always recommend therapy because I think therapy is fabulous. And I think it is a gift to yourself to work through and heal your stuff. I don't feel like, so this is what I'm going to tell you. So I do believe therapy because I think that, that's the way to go. I don't feel like this was something you will struggle with forever. So I want to give you at least that, take a deep breath and like relax on that one. It feels like 2 to 3 months, there's going to be a huge change for you, but it really does feel like seeking outside help is really, and not mine, like, so they can give you the tools to deal with it. So you may always have a trigger, but it's learning to recognize your triggers quicker and recognize them for what they are, and then have the coping skills to deal with them so that they don't trigger you so strongly and significantly. So it does feel like you are going to get relief from it. So hold into that space if you can. Torres PNS, will the AI business you're investing in make money for you? Yes, it will. Not as quickly as you'd like it to, but I feel like it will. It's like that feeling of, like the stock markets where you might see a dip at first and then kind of like, but it feels like it in the long run, if you stick with it, it will make you money. Because it feels like it might get sold off or something like that. Julie Owens, any messages from your guides? Let me just go down here real quick and see. Ken, I didn't miss you. I answered you because I typed your name. Pink, purple hearts. Oh yeah, no, okay, so yeah, thanks, Blue Storm. That's probably why the order is different. I didn't miss you, Ken, though. I'm pretty sure I answered yours. Just go back and see if you can rewatch it, but I did. There's a timestamp there. Pink, purple hearts. I am not answering any new questions tonight. So if you come back next week, I will be back. If you want to just have a spiritual chat, I'll be here on Friday live doing that too. Yes, you're still the last one on the list, Ramilla. Web Surfer Guy, I'm not answering any new questions, and I come back next week. Okay, so sorry, I was just looking for some validation. Okay. Thank you, Danny, by the way, for telling people. Shining out light, no new questions at the end there. Okay, so Diana Veras, okay. I think I answered yours. You're just typing it a million times. See, you can't do that. Don't type things a million times. I know you're probably new here, and that's why you did that. Okay. Julie Owens, that's who I wanted. Okay. Any messages from your guides? So I feel like you haven't been sleeping well because of worry, because they literally said, sleep tight, little one. You can rest easy now. So they're showing me poker chips, like gambling chips. I don't know if you're thinking of going to a casino or something, but it's also that feeling of like you don't need to gamble. So I'm not sure if it's the literal, like you're going to they're talking about a casino, or if it's just the not needing to gamble, because it's feeling like not having a lot to gamble with. Julie, I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know. Okay. Thanks, Ken. Danielle, is your partner learning to love you? I heard not in the way you want. So I think your partner loves you in their own, like in their own capacity of what love is to them. But I don't feel like in the way that you want, like, so you're setting all of these expectations and that person's not capable of it. The sense that I have is that would benefit you if you chose to do it would be to work on your own stuff and your healing. And then you sort of are able to step back in that relationship. And when you really, truly, fully embrace yourself and love yourself, it's not that it doesn't matter, but it's like you start to see that they come from stuff too. Like you start to deal with your own personal trauma and issues. You see why they are the way they are, and you sort of start to accept their love in the way that they're able to give it to you. It doesn't feel like an abusive relationship. It just feels out of connect and disconnected. Not disconnected, but just out of sync, so to speak. Did I type your name? Priya, no new questions, please. He's 35. So Coda, there's something about 37 then that's coming up. So I don't know what that means or what they're talking about with that. Don't panic and think that I'm talking about. There's something significant around 37 for him. And I don't know what that means. Julie, you were thinking of buying a lottery ticket. Don't do it. It feels like it's not yours. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, there's Danielle. All right, I'm on 850. Woohoo, you guys, we're almost done. Urban Lady, you feel the presence of a recently departed friend. At least I think that's my friend. It is. Just say hello and be open to it. If you ever get nervous, you just ask your guides to, allow only those with the highest love and light to come through. And they'll, if it's not a friend and it's not someone safe, they just send them on their way. That's the one thing I always found very interesting, that boundaries are way easier to set with spirit than they are with people. People in their bodies are such a pain in the butt, but spirit is very respectful. Pamela, is Luke scamming you? I don't want to say yes, but I feel like I have to say yes. So I don't know what that means, but it just feels like, listen to your gut instinct on that one. It's like, feels like that feeling of just walk away. Don't get all like fiery on him. Just walk away. Sherry, should I keep my real estate license? I already answered that one. Carrie, will Brian want a relationship with you in 2020? I feel like yes. But by the time he does, you may not want a relationship with him. And that is all I'm going to say about that. Spiritual goddess of enlightenment, you would like a message from, now I'm finally getting to you. I saw you ask down there, was I answering yours? And I wasn't, but now I am. So they said, be careful not to compare yourself with others. Where you're at, if you're as good as, or better than, or not good enough, or why aren't you here and they're there. They said, don't get into that, because you are on your own journey. You are not from the same, like, cutout. It's not a cookie cutter thing. It's everybody has their own journey, and just celebrate those around you, and don't worry about where you line up with them. Because, even in the spiritual world, even when we're spiritual beings, and even when we sort of follow a spiritual path, and even, working in whatever we're doing, you can still get it hooked into that of comparing yourself. And they're saying, don't compare yourself. Stop comparing yourself. You're on your own journey. You'll be where you need to be exactly when you need to be there. No new questions, Mimi. You'll find a place. You'll find one. Maybe smaller than you were hoping, but it'll be perfect. Miss Yana, what are Cham's intentions with you? I just heard they're good. So I don't feel like I'm someone who wants to take advantage of you or just use you and get rid of you. So that's the feeling I feel with that one. And Ramila, I think you asked a question. Ramila, when will you get out of your toxic life with your family? They're really toxic and driving me. Okay. Here's the thing about toxic people. I know lots of them. Not really. I actually learned to set boundaries. With toxic people, some of the boundaries mean that you actually have to cut them completely out of your life. And truly, the rule I always say is the only person who has to respect your boundaries is yourself. Because if somebody doesn't respect your boundaries, then you walk away from them. So they don't have to. They have to do their own thing. And it's just you that has to respect your own boundaries. So it's time for you to decide what you're willing to tolerate and what's okay with you and what's not okay with you. And when you set boundaries, people, they push back and they are, quite frankly, pardon my French, assholes. And that's okay. That doesn't mean you're a bad person or you shouldn't do that. And the other thing about boundaries is they don't have to make sense to anybody else. What my boundary is for me doesn't have to make sense to you. So I'm trying to think of like an example. Like some parents say, my kid can't have any screen time at all. Or another one will say, my kid only gets 30 minutes. Another one will say like, whatever, we don't care. So it doesn't have to make sense. It's whatever works for you or whatever works for that family, right? So it doesn't have to make sense to that person that you're setting a boundary up for. But you will not leave, and this is the lesson for you, you will not leave that toxic family until you learn to set boundaries and decide and love yourself and decide what you're willing to tolerate. And that's not a magic number. So here's the thing, like, it's truly when you decide. It's not, I know that's like not fun, but that's like a lesson for you. So if you are at the end of dealing with them, sometimes the end of dealing with toxic people means totally cutting them out of your life. Sometimes when you do that, they decide to go, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I need to change that behavior. And they're allowed to come back in. And sometimes they never change that behavior and they're not allowed back in. And it is sad and it is like a death and it is like, you have to mourn that loss if that happens. But sometimes you have to do that. And it's part of this world, I think, just relationships in general. That's how we grow. Okay, I think I hit my end, y'all, and my timing is better than it has been. So that's good. If you did not get your question answered tonight, please come back next week. This was a short hiatus I had. I usually do these weekly Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I'm not on that day, I will come on another day to make up for it. But I will be back next Sunday. I'm totally excited for this year. I think it's going to be a really, really, really good year. It doesn't mean that there's not ups and downs, but for me personally, I think it's going to be a great growth year. I think it's going to be a great growth year for a lot of people. And I do think things are shifting. Get out and vote because I'm big on voting. And you know what? As far as New Year's resolutions, I think they're shit because they put a lot of pressure on you. Just anytime you choose that you want to make a change, that's when you do it. Don't hold yourself to that. But I said, maybe promise to love yourself more this year. And remember, being kind to others is actually self-love, because everything that you send out there comes back to you. And I'm just reading through anything. Oh, I just was looking at your validation, Khalees, if you're still here. Thank you for that. Oh, whoa. Spiritual goddess. I just like read that. White light with blue. How interesting. Man. Sorry, I'm laughing at some of the people who keep asking, even though others of you are like, she answered it already. Please like and subscribe. I'm on Instagram. It's my spiritual friend on Instagram. I've just got like a lot of little like positive sayings on there. That's kind of how I do it. I'm on Twitter, but I don't do much on there. But I'm here every week. And if you want a private reading, I charge for those. It's $100 for a half hour and $175 for an hour as of today's date, just in case in the future you watch this back and you say, but you said that. So it's subject to change. So that if someone watches this in a year from now or 2 years or 3 years or whatever, I haven't changed my rates in a while, but you know how it is. Pink Purple Hearts, you asked a question a couple of months ago and I was 100% correct. Thank you for the validation. I don't know what the question was. I don't even remember, but I'm really glad that I heard my guides right and interpreted it correctly. After paperwork being stuck somewhere, do you see me and the family moving to Japan? Oh, yes. I know I said I wouldn't answer anymore, but since you asked about that. Erica, I don't think I skipped you. I'm not answering any new ones and I didn't see your name up there. All right, y'all. I think I'm at the end of, holy Christ. Sorry. I'm like, I thought I was at the end of the comments. Pinky Lee, I will not be sharing my class here as well because it is actually through Holistic Studies Institute. I will be on staff for them. So if you want the class, you have to go to there and come to that class and be a part of it there. Maybe at some point I will teach energy healing, but it's like sort of one of those in-person things that you kind of need to do. Because you need another person because it's you practice on people. New subscriber, welcome. I'm not doing any new questions at this point. I'm just sort of like reading over everything. I think I'll bounce out of here now though. You're welcome to everybody. Everybody have a lovely week. Come join me on Friday for a live spiritual chat. We can just chitty chat about anything. I'll talk about self-forgiveness. Some other things I've noticed in the spiritual thing that kind of makes me go about a lot of the things people post about spiritual stuff and just my observations. And I hope you all have a lovely, lovely week. Get some sleep if you're somewhere where you sleep. If you're not, have a lovely day. Everybody be safe. And if you have a moment, send a donation to Australia. There's all kinds of organizations that are taking donations. And if you can't afford that, send healing and love and pray for cool, soaky, slow rain, not a huge downpour, because that will not help them. They need soaky, soaky rain. So send that their way. If you can't afford to send any money, you can always take some time to send some love and energy. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.